Hello, Distance Learning Academy families. Thank you so much for joining me tonight for this virtual meet and greet. I appreciate your time, and I'm going to go through the information on the Distance Learning Academy. I want to let you know we've been working so hard to set up a positive learning experience for your child and welcome them to our community. So, we've had a lot happening since January 5th at the Distance Learning Academy. We now have 635 students registered for our programming, and they are coming from all 9 buildings. Each grade level has 4 or 5 sections per grade level. We have 26 current White Bear Lake area school teachers who've come over to the Distance Learning Academy. Many of these teachers are coming with your students. They know them, they care about them, and they're excited to continue teaching them. In addition, we have 2 newly hired teachers. I appreciate each of you and the patience you've had for those teachers as they get onboarded and into Skyward. And I know you were eagerly awaiting their information, and everything should be visible for you now. In addition, we are lucky enough to have 1 returning teacher. It's always wonderful if someone gives you a call out of retirement who says, I heard great things and I'd love to come back. So we're happy to welcome a new part-time kindergarten teacher who's coming back to the White Bear Lake area schools. In addition, if your child receives special education, English language, or intervention services, staff from their home buildings will continue to service them. Please know we will meet all of the needs of your child within their special education, English language, and intervention programs. We are currently housed at Matoska. We were lucky enough to land a spot in the back of their media center, what once upon a time was the computer lab and the media specialist office. We spend our days there. Our school's open from 9 o'clock to 2:40 for students, and our staff runs a day of 8 o'clock to 4 p.m. I want you to know a little bit about me. And I want you to know much of this information in the presentation I took from the thought exchange that you provided for us. I'm Amber Walsh. I have been in the White Bear Lake Area School District for 2 years. Before I came here, I had 18 years of experience teaching students. The majority of my experience comes from South Washington County schools, specifically at Middleton Elementary and at Oltman Middle School. I've been an elementary school teacher. I've been a middle school teacher. I've held a variety of teacher leader jobs, including gifted and talented coach and the literacy coach in my buildings in South Washington County. I was lucky enough to have an adventure for a couple of years where my family moved to the West Coast, and that's where I first became a school administrator. I was principal of an elementary school in Issaquah, Washington, which is a small mountain suburb right outside of Seattle. Just get on I-90 and head east. I am focused on a high level of instruction, but more than anything, I'm focused right now on creating connections and a culture of kindness for your students. I heard that loud and clear through the thought exchange. I will provide your students with good education that matches the standard provided in White Bear Lake. But I also want you to know I'm working hard and being very thoughtful to provide them with connections to their school, their teachers, and their classmates. In addition, I'm working very hard to show kindness. This has been a very difficult year for all of us, and I think everybody needs a little kindness and a little grace right now. And we will offer that to your child and your family at the Distance Learning Academy. Finally, I posted a picture on here of my family because I think it's really important that you know that I'm a mom. And I know the decision on whether or not to return your child to in-person learning or make them part of the Distance Learning Academy was a very difficult one for you, and it's having a positive or a negative or some type of impact on your child. My kids are really important to me, and I understand how difficult these decisions can be. And I want you to know I'm looking at all of these situations, not only in how do we provide your child a high level of education, but how do we make your child feel good about school and feel like part of our community. That being said, I will repeat it a couple of times during this presentation, but you can feel free to reach out to me at any time with questions that you might have or things that are concerning to you. Send me an email. I will do my best to always get back to you within 24 hours. Give me a phone call. I'll do my best to always get back to you within 24 hours. I want to provide your student with a positive learning experience. In the thought exchange, you had a lot of questions or comments about how we are going to connect your child to their elementary school experience. I'm going to tell you each of our teachers is starting off each day with a morning meeting focused on the curriculum used in the elementary schools, responsive classroom and second step. We're putting together events just like that happen in the typical school building during the month of February where we focus on reading. We have book buddies happening, celebrity readers coming into the classrooms. I have teachers who are excited to offer lunch bunches where your kids can just be with other kids in a virtual format. We have ideas coming for all school games. We're hoping to put together recognition programs for your child. I would love to get a parent advisory panel together. I know we're all very, very, very busy, but if you are interested in giving us 1 month of your or 1 hour of your time per month to help us build an advisory panel and get your feedback about school, that would be greatly appreciated. I know those of you out there in the community probably have lots and lots of ideas on how to make this a good experience. I'm just going to tell you, send me your ideas. We might not do every single thing and every single idea might not be possible, but I want you to know you have a voice in our community and I would love to hear what you're thinking and have you contribute to us. Your child is in school from 9 o'clock to 2:40 every day. Your child's day starts with a morning meeting, like I said, includes literacy, read aloud, math, writing, social studies and science in an interdisciplinary approach, and each teacher will offer office hours. We know that kindergartners don't always think, gosh, I need to get in and talk to a teacher about my math problems. So some of these office hours will be scheduled by teachers. Sometimes you may be asked to join as the parent, and sometimes this will be drop-in spaces where kids can just come up to their teacher in a virtual way and ask them questions, or be part of a group that's asking questions. I know there were many thoughts and ideas about synchronous versus asynchronous school. What does that look like in the learning day for my child? I want to let you know that I definitely heard those concerns. As I've gotten to know the staff in our new Distance Learning Academy, there has been one message that's been very consistent when we talk about learning and school. And that message has been for the last year, we have been trying so hard and working and working and working, but we've been in a reactive phase of crisis education. Our goal with the Distance Learning Academy is to leave behind crisis education and start focusing on a true distance learning and teaching experience for the members of our community. We're going to talk a little bit about synchronous, so those live teaching experiences. And then we're going to talk about asynchronous, which are those independent work experiences. In a typical school day, when we're all in person learning together, before all of this happened, I want you to know there were times during the day where there was live teaching happening, and then there were times where there was independent work happening. Kids similarly will be watching video lessons. They'll be doing writing, they'll be reading, they'll be using math practice. They will be looking at learning apps and project work. This is part of our school day, and that will continue. In addition to this, we will have synchronous time, those times that we're all learning together. I know that many buildings were at different places with how many minutes their children were on screen. To start at the Distance Learning Academy, we are asking that our students in kindergarten and first grade have at least 60 minutes of live instruction per day. In second and third, they have 60 to 90 minutes, and in fourth and fifth, they have 90 to 120 minutes. This is going to look all different kinds of ways. You may see times when your child is on a morning meeting or getting a literacy lesson with the entire group of students. There may be other times when there's just a small group, and there may be occasional times when they're conferring or getting one-on-one support from a teacher. My goal is to help my staff spread these 60 minutes or 120 minutes across all of the content areas so that your child is receiving instruction in reading, writing, math, the things that they would be becoming used to in the typical school environment. I want you to know that we will follow all the Minnesota State standards at the Distance Learning Academy, and we will utilize the White Bear Lake curriculum. We want your child to receive an equitable learning experience to those students who are in live in-person school. The Distance Learning Academy students will be provided every opportunity that is provided to other students within the White Bear Lake system. Within the thought exchange, I heard a lot about specialists, and I was so glad that we had a plan put together here. I want you to know that your child will have 3 different lessons per week coming from a specialist. And I also heard you wanted those lessons to be synchronous or live. Every Thursday and Friday, your child will receive a live lesson from a specialist teacher, physical education, music, or world language. They will have 3 of these sessions per week, so 2 will be live and 1 will be an asynchronous opportunity. I want to let you know that your child may have Spanish or Chinese. I did my very, very best to have students who have had Spanish to this point in the school year stay with Spanish, and students who have had Chinese stay with Chinese. This was very challenging as we brought 635 students together. As I've talked to my colleagues and planned, I've learned that world language in the elementary setting is intended to be an exposure to cultures and to language. I will definitely offer your child that. If your child to this point has only had Spanish and is now taking Chinese, I just see it as an opportunity for them to be exposed to another language and increase their interest in the world outside of themselves. I've also had lots of questions and comments in the thought exchange and things coming from my staff about students having opportunities to not be looking at the screen and not doing work just on their Chromebook. I want you to know that we will have 2 opportunities per month for all families of the Distance Learning Academy to pick up learning bundles for their students. These will happen on the 1st and 3rd Thursday of each month. If you are looking for the specific dates, you may go to our family handbook, which is posted on our website, or I will send out when I send out this video, and look at the dates that we will have materials pick up. This will happen at the District Center in the lobby of the auditorium from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. I will be there to help facilitate this and or our administrative assistant, Hillary Farah. So please take this opportunity to pick up your child's work and know that classroom teachers are working hard to put this material together and to communicate with you. Finally, I've heard a lot from both staff and families about conferences. How are conferences going to look? When are conferences going to happen? We are a White Bear Lake Elementary School, and our conferences will happen on the same schedule they're happening in the other elementary buildings. Conferences happen February 11th and 16th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. All conferences will be virtual. I want you to know that you will have the opportunity to sign up for conferences in Skyward, similar to the way you've had every other year. Please look for that information coming out from me at the beginning of next week. I also want you to know that these conferences will be with your child's new Distance Learning Academy teacher. Some of your children have spent half of a school year with the same teacher, and some are just getting introduced to a new teacher. We'll be really focusing our conferences on goal setting for your child so that we can create opportunities for them over the next several months, which is still half our school year. We have lots of learning time left, lots of community time left, and lots of time to work with you and your child. Finally, I know some of you have specific questions or questions that are coming from a group of you. Please know that I will send out this video or sending this video to you via Messenger on Monday. In this video, I will include a way for you to sign up for small group meetings or get your specific questions answered. Please know that I am always just an email or a phone call away, and I'm happy to answer individual questions as I can. I am also looking for parents who are interested in being part of our parent advisory panel. This panel will meet 1 time per month to provide input on the learning model and help you stay connected and me stay connected with you and your community. If you're interested in participating in this, you can email me directly at amber.walsh@isd624.org, or you can just reply to this messenger. I want to say to you again, as an educator, as a parent, as a community member, I will do everything I can to provide your child with a positive learning experience throughout the next several months. Please let me know if there's anything I can do to support you and to help your child learning. Go Bears!